Hi, welcome back to our third tutorial in this tutorial group. This is how to make a flower power granny. And here is my example of the flower power granny. You've got a flower centre, flower petals, and it's all in a nice bordered square. Okay, so this is probably the trickiest one of our granny squares, but it's not crazy hard. It's just a little bit more tricky than your classic granny, just because it's got a few more stitches in there. You've got double crochets, you've got what we call a puff stitch, you've got half double crochet grannies and regular grannies. Okay, so I'm going to go through this now and take you through each bit step by step and show you how to make one. So to begin, you're going to need your hook and your flower centre colour. I'm going to use this mustard colour here. And what you want is you're going to get yourself the end of your yarn. You're going to tie yourself a slip knot and you're going to chain 4 crochet stitches. So let's tighten that up. So that's 4 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain stitches, and then we're going to turn this into a ring, just like on all the other granny squares. So you're going to take your hook, push that through the first chain, grab your yarn and pull it through, and pull that through the loop on your hook. So you've got yourself a small crocheted ring. See the centre there? Lovely. So the next step is to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this square doesn't use granny stitches at the beginning. We're just going to do regular double crochets, and we want 7 double crochets into this center hole in the middle of your ring. And then if you count this one as well, you'll have 8 spokes coming out of your center. So yarn over, push your hook right through the center of that ring, and grab your yarn and pull it through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the first 2, and you're going to yarn over again and through the second 2. You've now got 2 on your hook, or 2 spokes coming out of your circle even. So we're going to carry on. So it's yarn over, back into the same hole, grab your yarn and pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And we've got 3, so we want 8. So we're going to carry on doing that until we've got 8 double crochets around this circle. So just in case you need it one more time, we're going to yarn over, go through the center hole, grab the yarn and put it through. 3 loops on the hook. Then we're going to yarn over and go through 2. Then we're going to yarn over and go through the last 2. We've now got 5 spokes coming out of our ring. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spikes coming out of our ring. So what we're going to do now, if you just shuffle those around the circle, we're going to take our hook and put it between the first and the second spoke in that big gap there, called the chain space. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it through, and then we're going to take this loop underneath this loop, and that is called a slip stitch. And we are joining with a slip stitch there, a slip stitch to join. Right, and because this is where we're going to finish with this colour, we're going to do a chain stitch, and you're going to pull that up and out. Tighten it off, pop down your hook, grab your scissors, and snip that off, and pull out the long tail of yarn. And there you have the first step in the flower pattern. This is your flower centre. Okay, so step 2. Step 2 is where we create our lovely flower petals. And so as you can see here, there are 8 flower petals around this. And that is because you're going to work in each of these 8 gaps between your 8 spokes to make a flower petal. Okay? So to do that, we're going to grab our second colour, the flower petal colour. I'm going to use this orange and grab your ends. Now we're going to tie this between any two of those spokes. So you want to find the little spaces between the spokes that you've just made, between your double crochets, and you can go through any of them. Now grab your hook and push that through any of those spaces. Pull your yarn through, and you're just going to tie that in a normal knot. So it's nice and tight. Okay, so to start, you're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and that's just to get a little bit of height because your next stitches are going to be as tall as these flower petals. So a puff stitch is nice and easy. It's very similar to a double crochet, but you're just going to work 4 half double crochets and then you're going to complete them all at the top to bring them together. So I'm going to show you that now. You're going to yarn over your hook like you would normally for a double, and you're going to put that into your chain space. You're going to pull your yarn through, so you've got 3 loops on the hook, just like normal. You're going to yarn over and you're going to put it through the first 2, but you're not going to yarn over and put it through those 2 here. You're going to yarn over and you're going to go back into the chain space. Grab your yarn and pull it through. So now you've got 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull it through 2, which leaves you with 3 loops on the hook and 3 half completed spokes. So you can do that one more time. You're going to yarn over, back in the same hole, grab your yarn and pull it through. You're going to yarn over and pull it through those first 2. And what you should have is 4 loops on your hook and 4 half completed double crochets. And you're going to yarn over and you're going to put it through all 4. You see how that brings it together at the top? If you chain 2, it just locks it in at the top and it gives you enough room to move on to your next one. And can you see how that's created that nice sort of oval flower shape petal? Flower petal shape. So now we're going to do it again. It's going to be slightly different this time because you're not going to do the chain at the beginning. So you're going to yarn over, put it into your next chain space. You're going to grab your yarn and put it through. You're going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. So now you've got 2 loops on your hook but only 1 post. So you're going to do it again. And you keep doing this until you've got 4 half completed stitches at the bottom and 5 loops on your hook. So it's yarn over, back into the space, grab your yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, through 2. Now you've got 3 half completed spokes. And there you've got 4 half completed spokes. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 half completed stitches. So you're going to yarn over, pull it through all of them, and you're going to chain 2. And that is a puff stitch. I love puff stitches, I think they're so cute. I'm going to keep doing that all the way around, so I'm going to do that with you. Feel free to pause it if you want to watch it again, or feel free to just fast forward through to the next stage. Just yarn over, next hole, pull it through, yarn over through 2. Yarn over, back into the same hole, grab your yarn and pull it through, yarn over, through 2. Yarn over, back into the same hole, pull your yarn through, yarn over through 2. One more time. Now you've got your 5 loops on the hook, 4 half completed spokes, yarn over through all of them, chain 2. So we're going to keep doing that round now. I'm not going to talk as I go for these ones, just so you've got some quiet. So that's the last puff stitch. You're going to chain 2 and you're going to slip stitch to join it to the first puff stitch. So you're going to put your hook underneath the top 2 stitches. You see that? You're going to pull through your yarn. You're going to slip that pull through underneath your last chain. And that is the end of that round. So you're going to do another chain stitch, pull that up tight and snip it off. And there you have your flower petals around your flower centre. See that? So now's the time for us to put our border in. So a border on a granny square that's got a circle in the centre is slightly different to a square that starts square. So what we're going to do is we're going to work corner grannies as you're used to working. So these are double crochet corner grannies. But then this piece here, this granny here, is actually a half double granny. And I'm going to show you how to do that, but they're really simple. What that does is it makes these stitches slightly taller than these stitches, and it makes it into a square. It's kind of magic really when you see it happening. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So you're going to need your border colour. So you're going to take your border colour and you're going to join it into any of the gaps between your flower petals. Doesn't matter which one. Pull that through. I'm just going to tie it on like we did before. Now we are going to start by chaining 5. So pop your hook through and grab your yarn. Now you're ready to chain 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain stitches. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the same chain space. So just in case you don't remember, it's yarn over into your space, grab your yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on the hook. It's yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. I'm going to go again, yarn over, back into the same space, grab your yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. So there's our double crochet granny. Ignore this piece for now. We're now going to do a half double granny. So this is really easy. So you start exactly the same. You yarn over, put your hook through the hole that you're going to work into, the next chain space, grab your yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on the hook, just like normal. Then you're going to yarn over, and instead of pulling it through the first 2, you're going to pull it through all 3. And that's a half double. So we're going to do 2 more of those. Let's yarn over, back into the same space, grab your yarn and pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull it through all 3. Yarn over, same space, grab your yarn and pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, through all 3. And if you have a look at that, you'll see that these ones are twice the height of these ones, and what that creates for you is a straight edge. You see that? So in our next chain space, we're going to do a double crochet granny again. So this is actually going to be a corner piece. So we're going to do a double crochet granny, chain 3, and then a double crochet granny all into that same space, just like before on the other granny squares. So it's yarn over into your next space, grab your yarn and put it through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. That's a double. So 2 more doubles. Yarn over to the same space, grab your yarn and put it through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then we're going to put our corner in, so we're going to do chain 3. And we're going to do another double granny in the same chain space. So yarn over back into that same space, grab your yarn and pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So 2 more of those. And there's our first square side. So now we're going to do the next chain space. This is a half double granny. So it's yarn over into the next chain space, grab your yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull it through all 3. Half double. 2 more of those. 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, through all 3. Another one, yarn over to the same space, grab your yarn and pull it through, yarn over, through all 3. Can you see how that's working? Isn't that cool? So now we're going to do a double crochet corner granny next. First double, second double, third double. Now we're going to put our chains in to make the corner, so that's 3 chains. I'm going to do another double granny into the same chain space. So it's yarn over, back into the same space. Over, pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and again. And there's our next corner, done. Our next chain space is a half double granny. So that's yarn over to the next space, grab a yarn and pull it through, yarn over, take it through all 3 loops, yarn over, same space, grab your yarn and pull it through, yarn over through all 3 loops, 1 more, and then this is going to be a corner in double. Just like before, that's 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 3. Then we're going to do 3 more double crochets in the same chain space. And there's our corner. Our next chain space is a half double crochet. Half double crochet granny, should I say. So it's yarn over, next space, grab a yarn and pull it through, yarn over, through all 3. Yarn over, same space, bring your yarn through, yarn over, through all 3. 1 more. And then all we've got to do now is join up to this corner. So we need to do 2 double crochets because we've already got this one here. So we're just making this up into a granny stitch now. So it's yarn over into the space, pull your yarn through 2, yarn over through 2, and another one, and then we're going to slip stitch, pull the yarn through both, and there's your finished round. And it's now square. Isn't that cool? So our next step is to put another round onto this granny square. If you take a look at this one, this round is just a standard granny square round. So you've got granny corners and you've got normal double grannies along each of the edges. So I'm going to do that with you, but I might speed that up so it doesn't take up too much of your video. So to start, we're going to do our usual, we're going to do 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do a normal granny. I'm going to move to the next chain space and we're going to do a normal double granny. Next chain space, double granny. We're going to move into this corner space next, so this is a corner granny, which just means you do a granny, which is 3 doubles, then you're going to chain 3, you're going to do another granny, move on to your next one. You're going to work like that all the way around. So I'm going to stop here, I'm going to carry on, not on the camera, and meet you back round at the beginning. Okay. Okay, so I've got to the point where I'm about to work into my final corner. So all we're going to do is, just like before, we need to do 2 double crochets next to this chain post just to make that into a granny stitch, or make it look like a granny stitch. So it's yarn over into this chain space, grab the yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 loops, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. Then we're going to do exactly the same, back into the chain space, grab the yarn and pull it through, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, and then we're just going to join those up with a slip stitch. So into the chain space here, grab the yarn and put it through, and then take that into your last chain. Then you do 1 more chain, pull that up, tighten it off, and give it a little snip. And that is your finished flower power granny. So all you've got to do now is turn that baby over and weave in those ends. So just to recap on how to do that, you're going to need your needle. Choose yourself an end, thread that. And then all you're going to do is you're going to use your needle, you're going to take it underneath some of these stitches, just wiggle it through, pull it out the other side, and all we're going to do here, all we're trying to do is hide that end, but also give it a little bit of stability so that when you put this in the washing machine, it doesn't all unravel. Push it back the other way. So what I'm doing here is I'm going over the top of this stitch here, and that's going to stop my thread from just slipping straight back through. Pull it through, pull that through, take off your needle, put it tight, not too tight because you don't want it to bunch up your fabric. Just going to snip that off at the base, and there you have it. That's your end woven in. So you do that for all the rest, and when it's done, you should have something that looks like this. Now your next job is to make however many you need for your cardigan. Good luck. Thanks for watching.